Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 96. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan. Today we're going to continue the arc of the OG Ravnica with a Super Dirtbag Azorius deck. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What's going down?
Whole ton is going down. We're kind of out of the holiday season now. Not out of the spirit, but out of the season. And we're moving along with our arc of OG Ravnica from the super fun, super cool, sacky, dry, funny Rakdos into dirty, rotten, frickin' Azorius.
Yeah, two things. First thing, super enthusiastic intro. Jeepers.
I did my best.
Second thing, you're going to be out of the spirit when you hear this deck.
I kind of have a feeling I will be. I looked at a couple of cards out of it before we started recording. Didn't want to spoil it for myself, because you said I shouldn't spoil it for myself.
Yeah, pulling back the curtain, I said to Brando, don't look at it until just before we record, which is not the norm. Usually we like to do a little bit of research and talk about the decks a lot more, but today, no.
Yeah, so if I sound surprised in a negative way, now you know why.
Maybe you'll be surprised in a positive way.
Probably not.
But maybe.
Maybe.
I just got the look.
I have surprised both myself and you before.
Like one time for each of those things.
Yes.
Well, maybe today's going to be the second.
Today could be the day. That could be great.
What do we got to do before we get into the show? Or should we give a teaser? You know how we were doing teasers for the Commandees? Back before Santa's birthday?
That's when we talk about them for a minute, and then we don't talk about them for a while.
Yes, let's do it.
Isperia Supreme Judge today.
Oh, why does she cost 6?
Because she draws you lots of cards, and she's a 6-floor flyer. 6-floor flyer? I don't know what a floor flyer is.
Floor flyer.
That's one of those cards that you take off of the table and throw it onto the floor.
It's like when you drop a card or a piece of paper, and like the last little bit of air doesn't squish out from under it as it approaches the floor, so it goes all the way across the floor under like your appliances.
It's just to make sure that you can't get it back.
Yeah, like all the way to the back of the wall behind your stove.
It's the one thing that you need to keep doing what you're doing, and now it's underneath your gross stove. And now you've moved your stove, so you have to clean under the stove. Oh man.
Worst ever. That's what a floor flyer is.
Yeah.
Isperia Supreme Judge Floor Flyer is a blue, white, 2, 6/4 flyer. Whenever a creature attacks you or a Planeswalker you control, you may draw a card. She's from Return to Ravnica. She was the high-to-do Azorius legendary creature.
And she's significantly better than her previous incarnation. There we go.
Words.
That did stupid crap if you played telepathy. And if you didn't play telepathy, she sucked.
I was going to build her because she only costs 5. I didn't want to build a 6-drop commander. And then I read it and I was like, okay, telepathy. What are the other 98 cards? F this. I'm doing the other one. I'll just play a couple extra mana rocks. Okay, here we go.
Good call.
Okay, you want to do social media coordinates real quick? Then we got a couple newsy type items that I want to go through.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, social media coordinates. We are CCO Podcast on Twitter and tappedout.net. That's where you can see this week's list, last week's list, and any other list that we talk about throughout the course of the show. We're commandercookout@gmail.com. That's where you can send us love mail, hate mail, show suggestions, guys you'd like us to see done in the arc of OG Ravnica. No nudes?
I thought you were going to say, guys you'd like to see naked. We haven't received any 2009 nudes. That isn't an invitation. That's just an observation.
That's one of those news items that we were talking about earlier.
Nudes items.
Oh, Jesus. We're also Commander Cookout on the Google Play, Google Machine, iTunes, Podomatic.com. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Also Facebook, edhrec.com, Patreon, Flipside Gaming, where you can use promo code CCOFU to get 10% off your order store-wide. And if you didn't catch any of that, because sometimes I say it either too fast or I gargle my words, you can go to the official home of Commander Cookout Podcast on the entire internet, commandercookout.com.
Yes. You mentioned Podomatic. Should we get into our latest giveaway for Arc of OG Ravnica?
Yes, let's do that.
Podomatic.com. We cracked the top 10 on all of Podomatic. I waved my arm as if I'm encompassing all of the podcasts on the top 10, including us.
So cool. And we owe that to you guys. So thank you very much.
Yeah. So comments on any of our shows, any of our 2019 shows on the Podomatic website. There is a button on the Podomatic website that says, I want more or request more. I think it used to say request more. Now it says, I want more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dirty listeners, you want more. I don't know why I said that. But when you click those or do those comments, or you become a follower on Podomatic, that helps Podomatic's algorithms, or whatever the right word is, to rank us, along with plays and downloads and stuff through iTunes and Google Play and all the places that you can find us.
Yeah, you help us just by listening to us how you listen to us now. You help a little bit more if you go to Podomatic and interact with us actually there on our host site.
Very much so. Last year it was Take Down the Ninnies and Coin Week, and we did, so thank you. Now it's Take Down Everybody.
And it's just F everybody. Let's just show them who the boss actually is.
Yeah, this is like Lord of the Rings 3 when Mordor empties to just crush Minas Tirith.
And you guys are our army of ghosts.
Oh!
Yeah.
Sweet.
That was a good... We didn't even plan that.
No, that's kind of Azorius-y, isn't it?
No, that's more Orzhov-y.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay, whatever.
It still works.
When you do any of these things, including liking, subscribing, or commenting on our new YouTube videos of 2019, I'm editing them today. They should be out next week.
Huzzah.
Yeah. When you do any of those things, you're entered in to win our latest deck giveaway for Arc of OG Ravnica. It is Commander 17?
Yes.
Feline Ferocity.
That's the cats.
The cat deck. I think, what did we look it up? It has a retail of 65 or 66 US dollars.
So that's like 285 Canadian.
Yeah, the exchange rate is particularly bad right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even buying cards from the States because it's like so bad right now.
It's so expensive.
Yeah, trade wars and taxes, and we everybody's got bad country leaders right now. So, I mean, we all suck. So anyways, you do any of those things, you are entered in to win Feline Ferocity. Let us know if we should crack it open, sign anything, draw CCO logos on anything, or
Wieners.
I would gladly draw wieners on things.
There you go.
If you don't want wieners, just let us know to keep it sealed.
Yeah.
There will be no wieners to be found. Especially on the cats when they stand up and it goes inside their body.
Oh, Jesus. Moving on.
Yes. Moving on. This is a special one for us. We've got our 100th episode coming up.
Woohoo!
Yay us! Yeah! It's going to be airing at the end of January, right after our Ravnica Allegiance set review episode.
Right.
Like the following week. So the last week of January. Let us know. We're going to put a couple social media posts together on Twitter and Facebook. What you'd like us to either look back on or look forward to, I guess, or just what your greatest memories over the last 2 years of Commander Cookout have been.
Like, what does a 100th episode of Commander Cookout Podcast look to you guys? Because we don't know. We just don't want to do another episode. We're not going to build like a 100th episode deck. We want to do a 100th episode. That's a celebration of the fact that we actually made it to 100 episodes.
Yeah, we didn't kill each other.
Yeah, or anybody else.
Yes.
I tried really hard. I got a sock with some sand in it. Maybe I shouldn't admit that in public.
Anyways, maybe you could also let us know what your favorite decks have been over the last 2 years, right? We do occasionally get emails or whatever saying, "Hey, I built this deck. It's really fun," or "Have you tried this tweak in any of the decks that we personally own?" So we get things like that. If you want to let us know, maybe we can revisit that in the arc that follows our 100th episode.
Ooh, teasers.
I'm super excited for the arc that we have planned in February and March, right? We said we're going to do another like super arc to cover as much on a topic as we can.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to look back in the past and talk about some decks that did not suck ass.
I love not sucking ass.
Right? Speaking of special and important and looking back, I just want to tell a quick story. We don't have any shout-outs this week, so I'm going to take the shout-out section.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this. This is like a hero story.
And send a shout-out to my wife, Kyla, who, on a walk with Ursula, that's the official dog of Commander Cookout Podcast.
The first dog.
Big Urs. as we like to call her. We were out for a walk down by the river, and anybody who's ever been to Saskatchewan, specifically Saskatoon, knows that the river here is actually quite dangerous. And in the winter, it's pretty bad. It freezes in some places, but not all the way down to the ground. The current's really fast. It's super cold. It's very dangerous.
It half freezes, right? So, like, half of the river is frozen, and half of the river is not.
And the half that is frozen is only halfway frozen.
And what that does is take up water volume, but the same amount of water flows through, so it flows faster in the winter.
It's pretty scary. So we're out for a walk with the dog, and Ursula loves the water, and we just weren't thinking, I guess, and we hadn't seen her for a couple of minutes. We come around the corner, and there she is in the river, just her head and her paws poking up, and she's sticking to the ice with her claws, and she's whimpering, and she's super afraid, and she's drenched to her balls, if she had them. And it's terrifying. And I'm like, what do I do? Because I can't swim, so I'm not going to go out there because I'll just be another person they have to come out and save. And Kyla came around the corner, walked down the riverbank, which was steep and icy and shitty, and it was minus 30 that morning. And she basically penguin slid or commando crawled.
That was the only, like, super cold day we had all winter so far. The rest of it's been, like, right around freezing and no snow.
Yeah, and then that day it was snowing and windy and cold, and it was just miserable. And Kyla slid it onto the ice, and it was cracking, and she was getting soaked with water. She crawled probably 15 feet out into the river of doom, pulled Ursula out of the water, and saved her life.
The river of doom.
Yeah. And then we had to walk back to the car, which was like 25 minutes, and her clothes actually froze solid.
She looked like the Tin Man with no oil by the end of it, just like, here.
As tragic as it would have been had something happened, I can laugh about it now because everybody's okay. When she got back to the car, she couldn't bend. So when she went to sit in the car,
strap her to the roof.
I actually had to like help her lay across both seats and turn the heaters on so that it could melt her enough that she could bend in the middle to sit in the seat of the car.
Oh, man. Yeah, we could laugh about that now. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it was excellent. So thanks, Kylie. You saved Ursula's life, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.
And we got a good story out of it.
Yes, we did.
Super excellent.
Should we talk about a deck?
Yo, baby. I have one more thing.
Okay, all right.
And this goes back to our next arc that we're going to be doing, but also it's going to look forward to GP Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of March, Brando and I and the CCO crew, I guess, right? Some members of our local playgroup are all going to Grand Prix Calgary. It's going to be a weekend of magicking and drinking and playing EDH and probably trading cards and trading stuff in. And
we're going to eat chili cheese dogs.
Oh, dude, there's going to be so much food and booze and magic. And it's going to be great. And we are both tweaking some decks.
Yeah.
Some decks that we're going to be talking about next month. You, I think, said you are tweaking Norin the Wary.
Yeah, I'm taking Norin the Wary from and again, we'll talk about this later on in the arc or later on in February, but I'm taking him from like the full-on chaos quasi-control that I had him at last time I played him, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it so that it's more beneficial to me to do all that chaos stuff.
Yeah, he is like going full control almost, hey?
Yeah,
lots of sweepers and lots of... I like it. Yeah. I like where it's going.
I feel like kind of a grease bag, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and keep it fun, but also like have less dead cards and try and win more games.
Squash having fun. I'm gonna squash having fun with the decks that I'm tuning.
Squashing fun. I'm going from Marin stacks to stacks Traxa.
Oh, baby.
So let's just show you how big a piece of shit that I've become.
You know what this means? Like, you're talking about Norin Control and stacks Traxa. I'm talking about full-on Storm Zata, Combo Animar, and Edric Spymaster of Trest turns. Decks that we're tuning. Do you know how big of pieces of shit that makes us sound?
Super big.
So when people come up to us and they're like, oh, these guys are just playing these CEDH combo or competitive tier 1 decks, they just sit down and stomp us when really we just want to meet members of CCO Nation and sit down, and I want to play like shit-ass Mistform Ultimus and you want to play like Runetail Mono White. Yeah. And we're like, oh, wait a second, this isn't what we thought it was going to be. We're doing it to ourselves.
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm tuning some good decks. You're tuning some good decks. Hopefully we can show up and show up and ball if that's what people want, or we can switch gears and play some fun decks if that's what people want.
I like both of those things. I mostly like having fun games because those are way better.
I like having fun games because those are fun.
Yeah.
What you said.
Yeah, if I wanted to just win games, I would probably just not play Norrin the Wary Control and play something else.
If I wanted to win games, I wouldn't play Commander. I'd play a 1v1 format. Now we can talk about a deck. I just wanted to mention the GP Calgary thing because that's going to be a great time for everybody.
It's coming up in a few months, and Calgary's a beautiful town. If you're thinking about going down or coming up or however it is, whichever direction you got to go in to get there, if you can make it, I highly recommend it. Calgary is lots of fun, and meeting us is lots of fun, and all the fun stuff is centrally located, including their really cool zoo.
We're not going to the zoo.
I might go to the zoo.
The zoo is closed, dude. It's winter.
Well, it's closed right now, but it's going to be open in April.
It's in March.
It's going to be open in March, too.
Still a winter.
Still open. Most of it's inside.
Oh.
Fun fact, if you go to any zoo that's open during the winter months, typically it costs you cheap or free to get in, and the animals, unless they hibernate, are significantly more active because it's cooler out.
Oh. Neat.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Isperia the Supreme Judge?
It's Isperia the Supreme Judge.
Okay. Remember, every time somebody attacks us or a Planeswalker, we draw a card. That's the key.
That's very important to remember.
Creech?
Creech.
How many Creech we got today?
7.
7 Creech.
So at least we'll be able to get through all of the creatures in a timely fashion this week. That's exciting.
So get this. I'm going to bang through the first 4 real quick, and then we'll bang through 3 more, and then we'll be done. Just watch this.
Okay. Fogbank.
0/2 Flying Defender, can't take damage.
Guard Gomazoa.
1/3 Flying Defender, can't take damage.
100-handed one.
3/5, when you make him monstrous, he becomes a 6/8, and he can block 100 creatures.
I love that.
It's so excellent.
Oh, I wish he had reach.
So that's the first 3. So they're our blockers. Cool.
It actually does have reach.
When you make him monstrous, he got reach.
That's awesome.
His hands reach very far.
That's very good. Okay. Oh, we talked about this guy a second ago. Runetail.
When you have 30 or more life, you flip him, and he becomes Runetail's Essence, right?
Correct.
Prevent all combat damage. Or is it all damage?
All damage.
Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. Now, I don't necessarily need this guy because there's not super lots of creatures, but there's ways to make tokens in the deck that we would want to keep alive for future blocks.
And Runetail plus 100-handed one typically will make you block forever and block forever.
Very much so. You will just block everything until all of the days.
All right, and our last 3 creatures are Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, and Suture Priest.
Those are the Soul Sisters, right? I'm gonna include Suture Priestess. She's the ugly one.
Fuck me. That's good.
Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, gain a life. That's more or less what they do. And Suture Priest also has the added benefit of whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player loses 1 life. Cool. That's one of the cards that shuts off token strategies in the deck. So this deck's going to be very strong against token strategies, but also very strong in the life gain department. You'll see why in a sec.
Oh, good. All right, typically we will do instants and sorceries next, so let's just do that.
Sure.
Okay, first instant, Aetherize.
Ooh, 4 mana. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. So when I was putting the deck together, I took particular care to have some onboard combat tricks, have some catch-alls, and have some very pointed removal. The reason for that is I can be political, or I can say, you put that creature there, and you put that creature at me, so I draw a card, right? Like, if you're going to attack anyways, because I don't have blocks, like, I got 7 creatures, how often am I going to have, like a good bunch of blocks, right? I'll take those ones, you put the other ones over there. You don't listen to me? Boom, bounce everything. And anything you did put at me, I already drew a card from.
Now, that could be the reason this card is in here.
Uh-huh.
Or it could be because you can see the side of Hannah's ship navigator's butt in the art.
Is that Hannah? You just let me look close. Hold on. Sweet, that's why it's in here.
All right, next up, we got Angel Song.
Angel Song prevents all combat damage to be dealt this turn, or you can cycle it, and that is another catch-all. You're not listening to me, or you're going to Alpha Strike me, Or I just don't want to take the damage for reasons. I'm just going to fog you and draw my card still.
How about Blessed Reversal?
You gain 3 life for each creature attacking you. This is one that doesn't shut off token strategies, but let's say you're like, oh, I'll just make 10 2/2s, or I'll attack you with 21 1s. Well, guess what? That acts as a pseudo fog, and I gain a bunch of life. Or if you're just like, eat my 3 3/3s that I got from somebody's Terastodon. Well, now it's just a fog, and I draw 3 cards.
Dang.
Yeah, hey?
Another one with cool art, also little goblins all running around. I think that's fun.
And that's the thing. It's like, you'll see reasons. You're going to be like, don't attack me or else I will gain a bunch of life. And you don't want that, trust me.
How's about Congregate?
How's about Congregate? White, 3, instant, target player, I'm going to target me, gains 2 life for each creature on the B.
Neat.
That could be like 20 life if there's 10 creatures. How often is there like 10 or more creatures?
Fairly often.
Fairly often if it's like turn 7, 8, turn 10. I'm going to go to turn 10 with this deck. I'm going to.
All right, how about Dawn Charm? I like this one.
Yeah. So white 1, choose 1. Prevent all combat damage. Fine. Regenerate target creature. Cool. Counter target spell that targets me. So I can regenerate my Isperia, prevent all combat damage like I've been already doing after attacks. So I draw my cards.
So somebody goes for the mono red counter spell of Comet Storm you to death, you can just stop that.
Yeah. Or you know what also I like is like, I'm going to counter that with white mana unless you multi-kick it to somebody else. And then you just take somebody else out. Just with words.
Countering spells with your face is the most efficient way to counter spells.
Yeah, way better than absorbing them with your face.
Yes. How about Divine Offering?
2 mana instant, destroy an artifact, you gain life equal to its mana cost.
Another one with cool art on it.
Yeah, that's actually a reprint. I think it was originally in like Mirage or something.
I think you're right.
Mirage was sweet.
How about Ethereal Haze?
Prevent all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn. Let's call that a fog.
That would look really great in foil also, just with the art.
Yes.
It's got some swirly blue and green on it. How about Evacuation?
That is just like Etherize. After attackers are declared and I get all my blocks or all my draws, if they didn't attack how I wanted, everybody bounce.
How about Exile?
This is a neat one. This was from Alliance. We've never played this one before, hey?
I don't think so.
This is white 2, instant. Exile target non-white attacking creature. You gain life equal to its toughness. So we gain the life. It's like the opposite of Swords to Path or Swords to Exile.
Swords to Path shares?
What am I saying? You know what I'm talking about.
I do. This is also from back in the days when Magic art was like kind of just more fantasy, and it's just a castle out in the middle of nowhere. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the dude's in exile, and it's like, hey, I'll just build this giant castle. That's not how it works, FYI.
How about Holy Day?
That's just fog.
Honor the Fallen.
Another spicy nugget. This is for you. This is a masks rare.
Love masks.
White 1. Remove all creature cards in all graveyards from the game. Exile them. You gain 1 life for each card removed this way.
Hell yeah, you do.
How many creature are you going to get with that?
Depending on what you're playing against, it could be lots.
Again, turn 10. Like, are we getting 5 creatures? Are we getting 10? Like, I don't know how many we're getting. It's graveyard hate, and mostly you want to hate out creatures from the graveyard, right? And we're just going to gain a few points of life off that, which is important.
And every little bit helps. I love this one. Oh, Mirror Strike.
Yeah, this is another Masks block one from Prophecy. White 3. Target unblocked creature deals combat damage to its controller instead of you this turn. So again, you've got 2 attackers. You put them where I want you to put them, or else you're going to eat a whole bag of dicks.
Nice Omnath, bro.
Yeah, right? Like, F.U. Evan is like, oh, swing at you for 21 commandy? Kill yourself. Oh, man. That is just the greatest.
That is so good. Now, can you use that if they're not attacking you? Just because of the wording on the card?
Target unblocked. So if it just doesn't have a blocker assigned to it. So somebody puts like not a Whisper Silk cloak because that makes it have Shroud, but if they give it like I think like an aqueous form or something, that just makes it unblockable. Yeah, that's a thing.
Neat. All right, we got Path.
That's a path.
Riot Control.
Ooh. White 2. You gain 1 life for each creature your opponents control. So another big life gain card. Like, what are we gaining? 8, 10, 12 life. Because it's all opponents. Then, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn.
It's got flavor text from Isperia on it.
Oh, look at that.
It's a neat little nugget there.
I never even knew that. But yeah, sure. We're gonna not take damage. We're gonna draw cards, and we're gonna gain life.
Let's talk art again for 1 second. If you look at this one, it's clearly the trumpeter, who is the herald of the apocalypse, falling into the middle of a bunch of people, and it doesn't kill anything. It's poor art choice.
I think that might be Isperia going Fwah! And making all those guys back off.
It's probably not, though. How about Serene Offering?
That is Divine Offering, except for enchantment. Destroy target enchantment, gain life equal to its casting cost.
Neat.
From Tempest, actually, not Mirage. Maybe one was in Tempest, one was in Mirage. I don't know.
Who knows?
Probably not.
How about Sphinx's Revelation?
Stinky Revelation.
I like that one.
Blue, white, X. Gain X life, draw X cards. That's an instant, hey?
I remember it in, was it Standard that it got played? I remember that being like a control card for a while.
Yeah, it's an instant, dude. That's super good. You just leave up a bunch of removal mana and everybody makes all the attacks that you want them to, and you're like, oh, screw it. I guess I'll just like draw 8 and gain 8 anyways. Right? Like, it's good.
And the last instant is Swords.
Kill a thing. 1 mana. It's good.
Let's talk sorceries. First up, we have Curse of the Swine.
Curse of the Swine. Not consistent with other curses you might be thinking of. More to come.
Yes.
Blue X, exile X target creatures. For each creature exiled this way, its controller puts a 2/2 green boar creature token onto the battlefield. It acts as a pseudo kind of wrath if you like need to get rid of big stuff, but it also gives the target's controller another creature that is far less damaging to still attack me with.
Mm-hmm.
Following turn, you can say, hey, remember when I exiled your Ulamog? Hit me for 2. And then I draw a card.
How about Fumigate?
5 mana, destroy all creatures, gain a life for each creature destroyed. Again, how many is that on turn 5, 6, 7, 8? It's like
probably 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6, 7, 8, 10,
Yeah.
10 or 12 maybe, best case scenario. Sweet.
How about Righteous Fury?
It has the word righteous in it, A.
All right, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah. Or in the future, we talk about that. B, it is a 6 mana, destroy all tapped creatures, gain 2 life for each creature destroyed. So you put the attacks where you want and you get your card draw out of what you want to get, and you leverage other people getting attacked, and then you kill everything anyways and gain life.
So dirtbag.
Because Azorius.
Yeah, Azorius is so terrible. All right, we're going to do some enchantments. There's 6 of them, and we're going to start non-alphabetically and talk about Soul Snare first.
Snow Snare.
Soul Snare.
My dad had a friend that was originally from Mexico, and they called him Snow Snake. I have no idea why. It sounds dirty, but whenever I read Soul Snare, I think Snow Snake. And now you will too.
Yeah.
It's white mana enchantment. You pay white and sack it. Exile target creature that's attacking you or a planeswalker you control. Originally from Commander 11.
That's a Commander card?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Commander exclusive. It was only in Commander 11 and Commander 18. Full stop.
What? Really?
Yeah, 100p.
What's the other? Wasn't there a bunch of those where you play the enchantment for 1 and then you can sack it to blow up a thing?
Those were the seals of XYZ from Nemesis, and then they redid them in Time Spiral Block.
What did the white one do?
Destroyed an enchantment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So that acts as an onboard trick where you can actually have up like white and be like, put that attacker where I want it or it will die. Or if you do swing at me with everything, I will draw my card from it and then I will kill it.
Yeah.
There's no effing around, dude. This is serious shit.
Talking about serious shit, let's talk about the other 5 enchantments. They all share a type.
Hold on a second. So remember a couple weeks ago, we did that black deck where it was like, I guess I'll just die.
Yeah.
This is a very creative extension and expression of, I guess I'll just die. And this is why I love this deck so much.
Start with Curse of Inertia.
Curse of Inertia. So this is an enchantment aura. curse. You enchant a player for blue 2. Whenever a player attacks the enchanted player with one or more creatures, that attacking player may tap or untap target permanent. Okay, so I curse myself.
What? What?
I curse myself because when you attack me, you get a benefit. Your benefit is to tap or untap something. Maybe you tap or untap my blocker. Maybe you go to tap my land and in response I tap it so I can fog anyways.
Maybe I tap your Isperia and then kill it with a Royal Assassin.
You're playing Royal Assassin. I think I win. But here's the thing. I incentivize you to attack me, and I get a better benefit when that happens. Read the next one.
Curse of the Forsaken.
Enchant myself. Whenever somebody attacks me, that person gains a life. I ask you this. Do you want to gain 1 life, or do you want me to draw a card?
Well, I don't want either of those things to happen.
Well, you want to gain a life.
Do I? Do I really, Ryan?
Do you want me to draw a card?
No.
Maybe my idea is not going to work.
Not with me.
Read the next one.
Curse of Verbosity.
Whenever the enchanted player is attacked, remember, I curse myself for 3 mana, draw a card. So when you attack me, I draw a card. But here's the upside. You also get to draw a card.
So that might be more incentivizing for me to attack you.
But I draw 2, remember, because Isperia.
Well, I just kill Isperia first.
No, but you won't. Read the next one.
Curse of Vitality.
3 mana, curse myself. Whenever I get attacked, I gain 2 life. Whenever you attack me, you gain 2 life. Again, shuts off token strategies. Sort of. It's whenever I'm attacked, it triggers. So it only triggers once. I guess that doesn't really shut off token strategies.
No, it's very bad against token strategies, actually.
It incentivizes people to attack me.
It does. Let's pause there for a second. We had this conversation off the air, but let's throw it out to CCO Nation. Do you guys know who the dude on Curse of Verbosity and Vitality is? He's also on the red one that gives you gold tokens, and I'm assuming there's also a black one and a green one that he's on.
There are. There's an article. Somebody find the article and send Brando the link on Twitter at CCO Brando.
Yeah, like he's a guy. Apparently he looks like the artist that drew him, but he's a character from somewhere, and I'm super curious who that is, and I'm not going to look it up myself because...
Yeah, Wizards gave him a name and said this is where he's from or something, and the artist was like, yeah, I just took pictures of myself and it's me or whatever, right?
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
Yeah, so. Very much so. I thought it was cool that this guy just keeps getting effed up because he gets cursed. Everybody wants to beat him up.
Yeah, it's the worst
same
luck.
Dude every time.
Let's talk about Curse of Echoes, last one.
So this is a 5 mana curse. I curse myself. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, each other player may copy that spell and may choose new targets for the copy he or she controls.
Now, why would you curse yourself with that?
Because I have things that act as removal. I got the removal.
Like Path?
Yeah. And you can copy that and kill whatever you want. So it kind of acts like a little bit of a... What's the card? Not Eye of the Storm. What's the one that you play with the 0 drops?
Hive Mind.
Hive Mind. It acts as a little pseudo Hive Mind just for me, and I can hand out hey, do you want to kill that thing over there? Well, I'll path something else. You get that thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's on theme with the curses, and it lets me continue to drive in the political spike of whatever.
I suppose, and if you path the thing, it's not like you're rocking tons of things to get pathed back. There's probably going to be other things that need to get pathed.
And that's it, right? And if I'm the guy with the curse, and I cast a path on, F.U. Smitty's thing, and he kills your thing, well, it was my path that did it, so maybe you attack me, and then I get all the benefits from getting attacked.
Yeah, maybe.
That's just another a layer on the political onion.
Onions do have layers. Let's do artifacts real quick. We're going to start with my favorite card in all of Magic ever, Aetherflux Reservoir.
Oh,
you piece of dirty fucking shit.
Do you remember when we were gaining all that incidental life? And,
yeah.
And every time I said, we'll gain 6 life or 3 life or 8 life.
Yeah.
Just add 1 to that, because whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. So if we cast 1 spell a turn that gains us X life, well, we actually gain X plus 1 life.
Yeah.
And then X plus 2, then X plus 3 for each life gain spell we cast later that turn. But here's the kicker. Pay 50 life, Aetherflux Reservoir deals 50 damage to target creature or player.
I hate this card.
Oh, dude, this is how we're going to win. And we're not even being dirt sandwiches and playing combo to do it.
This is the worst.
We are playing a political, control-y, curse our stupid self, fog bank deck. Let's go a little bit deeper.
Next up, we have Bident of Thassa.
Okay. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. Sure, don't care really.
All 5 of them that can attack?
Yeah. The other thing it does, blue 1 tap, creatures your opponents control attack this turn if able. So they have to attack me if I'm the only player left.
Yeah.
Or if they have to attack and I'm got that political spike driven into the back of somebody's neck and I can control them like a puppet. That's my joystick in their spinal cord. They'll just put them where I want them to put them.
Yeah?
Yeah, or I'll fog if they don't.
All right, how about Ivory Tower? I like this one.
This is an old school one. Hey, I actually used to play this in my Karlov deck. It's a 1-drop. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain X life, where X is the number of cards in your hand minus 4. So we're drawing lots of cards with Isperia and our curses and stuff. If we got like at the start of turn 2, if we drop that on turn 1, it's like we gain 4, then we gain 3, then we gain 2, then we gain life every turn with it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then we got Greaves and Boots.
That's to protect Isperia.
And then we have Venser's Journal.
And this one is a 5-drop, kind of like Ivory Tower. You have no max hand size. At the beginning of your upkeep, gain 1 life for each card in your hand.
Pretty good.
So that's going to gain us between 3 and 5 life a turn, kind of like Ivory Tower.
And then we'll do some rocks real fast. We got Sol Ring, Commander Sphere, Worn Power Stone, Azorius Signet, Cold Steel Heart, Mind Stone, Felwar Stone, Thought Vessel, and one you wanted to talk about specifically in Azorius Key Rune.
This is our first key rune.
Yeah, it is.
Good for us.
No.
It's a 3-drop. It taps for white or blue, but also it goes white, blue, and it becomes a 2/2 bird with flying until end of turn. So you can like animate it at instant speed into a flying blocker, and it dodges your our wraths, or probably dodges other people's wraths and stuff. It's not a win condition because we can't pump it at all, but
Things like that are handy.
It's a thing that's handy. It acts as like a blocker that people are just going to forget about.
It's like what's that land that turns into a monkey?
Monkey Land.
Jungle Shrine?
Treetop Village.
That's the one.
And Fairy Conclave and Drudge Skeleton Land.
Breeding Pit?
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever, but they're
Breeding
good.
Pool.
Breeding Pool, there we go. But they're good. They're fine.
Yeah.
Huh, so that wasn't so bad. Apart from Aetherflux Reservoir, that was not a painful deck at all. Should we move on to strengths and weaknesses? Potential cuts? Milk list?
Just wait. There's more.
What? Did I miss something?
There's another tab, Brando.
Oh. What?
There may or may not be approximately, exactly, 15 Planeswalkers in this deck.
Oh my god.
Now, here's what we're going to do for brevity's sake. Curse of brevity. I'm going to read the ability on the Planeswalker that's relevant to the deck strategy. Everything else that the Planeswalker does, who cares what it is gravy.
Superfluous.
Yes. Let's start with a Johnny's. You don't mind a Johnny?
No,
hey?
I like a Johnny. He looks cool. He has like sweet weapon and stuff. And we have Goldmane.
What the hell does that weapon even do with the axe on the end of it? Does he swing it around in a circle?
Yeah.
Like he goes like whirlwind style barbarian on Diablo 2 with it? Like he can't cut anything with that.
Well, it's made of rocks. It's meant to like smash things, maybe not cut them. And they're sharp on the bottom, so when you spin it around in a circle, it like the end cuts.
Slices, so he has to be exactly the right distance away from something.
And then it's pointy at the end, so you could stick somebody with it. Also,
but then you stop spinning because it's stuck into somebody.
But he's like 10 feet tall. I'm sure he just smashes things like with the side of it.
That weapon makes 0 sense. They should change it. Physics still applies. I assume it does because they all walk on their feet. I mean, gravity exists.
Well, gravity has to exist, or
we digress.
Our brains couldn't fathom what we were seeing. All right, a Johnny Goldmane.
4-drop a Johnny, plus him, gain 2 life. Super important.
Next up, a Johnny Wise Counselor.
5-drop a Johnny, 5 loyalty, plus him, Gain 1 life for each creature you control. We don't have very many creatures, but we are playing some Planeswalkers that give us a bunch of tokens.
He's from M19?
Yeah.
Was M19 last year?
It's like the most recent M set.
Oh, I always figured that they were the year that they came out.
They're the year that they're going to exist. They're the year of the year that they're going to exist in Standard. So M19 exists in Standard in this year.
Oh, okay. All right, neat.
It's like vehicles coming out in the fall of 2018 are the 2019 models.
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, neat. Okay, next up we have Dovin Bond.
Sure. 4-drop Dovin, 3 loyalty. You plus them to make a creature -3/-0. That's the one that we want to attack us. And you minus them to gain 2 life, important, and draw a card.
Important.
Yes.
Elspeth Knight Errant.
Now, you don't mind Elspeth's, right?
She's okay.
Yeah, she's kind of sexy. She got like some good cards. She's dead now.
Is
You
she
don't have
dead?
to deal with her.
I like that.
Yes.
I like when characters that show up all the time die. Because you get tired of them.
Maybe let's come back to that in a minute.
Why do we want to go back to that? You know what? Let's just leave a surprise.
Yeah, do not scroll down.
Okay.
Elspeth 1, let's call her. 4-drop Elspeth for 4 loyalty. Plus her, you get a dude of 1/1. Sweet. She makes a token, and remember, every time somebody attacks one of your Planeswalkers, that's the functional equivalent of you not, like, you're not taking that combat damage, so that's kind of like gaining life. She's going to suck up some damage, she's going to go to 5, and you're going to get a blocker. Sweet.
And hypothetically, her emblem would be very good in this deck.
Yeah, -8. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, and lands you control have indestructible.
It's just cool. It's good to have.
Yeah, we want Isperia to have indestructible.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Elspeth Sun's Champion.
This is Elspeth 3?
Sure.
Sure. 6 mana, 4 loyalty, plus her, put 3 soldiers into play. Good blockers.
Plus her to put 3 soldiers into play.
Minus her, kill all creatures with power 4 or greater.
Jesus.
Yeah, if Isperia does die, we'll just nuke the board.
Yeah.
And we'll go token strategy.
Dig it.
Cool.
Right, how about Elspeth Terrell?
Elspeth 2 Rel. I just made that up.
Good one.
5 mana, 4 loyalty, Elspeth, plus her. Gain 1 life for each creature you control. That's like the new Ajani.
Yeah.
Minus her, put 3 dudes into play. -5 her, destroy all other permanents except for lands and tokens. This is how we go token strategy if Isperia dies.
Why did Elspeth get no bad cards? Did she get any bad cards?
Well, because she died.
Well, yeah, but there's 3 or 4 of them before she died, and none of them are bad. Even guys like Jace got bad cards.
Let's scroll down.
What the hell is this,
That
Ryan?
was the best. I seen the very most subtlest of slump. Brando was like sitting in his chair, and then his shoulders just dropped a fraction of an inch, and I could just tell his eyes squinted a bit. There was just that subtle slump, and it made my whole weekend worth it.
Let's talk about Gideons.
How many Gideons?
5 of them? 5 of them.
What do all the Gideons do?
They turn into a creature that doesn't take damage.
Excellent. So we've got a 4 mana, a 4 mana, a 5 mana, a 5 mana, and a 3 mana. And we make them creatures that don't die. And when we get blocked, or when we get attacked, we draw cards and we just block with Gideon. Every turn.
Life sucks.
That's what Gideon does. I got the look. I didn't get the slump. I got the full look.
Are you shitting me right now, Ryan?
How many are there?
Are you kidding? 4 Jaces?
I didn't even play the best one.
4 Jaces he plays. Oh my god.
There's like 6 Jaces, dude. I'm only playing 4.
I'm only playing 4. Jace archetype. I can't even read. I'm so upset with you right now. Jace, Architect of Thought.
You plus them to make a creature -1/-0, and then you want that creature to attack, or you minus them and you do like a 3-card factor fiction. That's a draw card. Let's just call it that.
What Jace Bellerin?
This Jace is good. Plus them, everybody draws a card. That's a political move. Minus them, just us draw a card. Cool.
How about Jace the Cunning Castaway? Because they had to make him a pirate so that people would stop being so pissed off that he kept showing up.
But then they like took all his clothes off. You minus them, you get a blocker that if it gets targeted, it dies. But essentially, he's the cheapest. Like, he's a 3-mana dude. You minus him, he gets 1 loyalty. Somebody's going to want to kill him, so that eats up an attacker. We draw a card, and then we still have a blocker left over.
And nobody's going to target that blocker with anything unless it's like a creature ability that you have nothing else to do with.
Yeah, like you tap it to deal 1 damage, and it kills their 2/2.
Yeah, and even then, why not do 1 damage to something that matters?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good blocker. And I guess its other thing, too, it loots when things attack you, right? Or is that for creatures you control? I can't read. The printing's too small.
Its plus is whenever... His plus. Whatever. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, draw a card, then discard a card. That's his plus ability. So if we do go down the token strategy route, we can plus, and then we can loot a whole ton.
That's okay.
Because we'll have 6 or 7 tokens from all of our Elspeths and stuff.
And lastly, we have the most anime-looking Jace, even more than actual anime Jace, in Jace Memory Adept.
Plus him, draw a card. Then target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Cool. 0 him. Target player puts the top 10 cards of their library into their graveyard. This one is going to suck up attacks because everybody's like, oh, don't mill me, don't mill me. This actually goes good with our Honor the Fallen. So we just mill for 10 like we're trying to mill. Who cares? And then we remove all the creatures to gain life. And then we Etherflux them to death. And they were scared of mill. That's a deck.
That last part really kind of threw it for a loop, didn't it? A shitty loop.
Yeah, no.
Like a butthole. It's a shitty loop.
That is a shitty loop. Let's look at some lands. There's a couple in there that matter. There is a Blighted Steppe. It 4 mana. You can sack it to gain 2 life for each creature that we control. So that's a little bit of life gain. There is a Core Haven, a Mystifying Maze, and a Maze of Ith. Those all turn back an attacker. So we can still draw a card even though we don't. Oh, and Prov, Spires of Order for 7 mana.
Well, 6 plus tapping the land.
Yeah, 6 plus tapping itself. So there's 4 ways that on our land we can still draw a card but not take any damage. And then there's 2 lands that gain us life.
Neat. There's lots of land that comes into play tapped. Lots of it.
It's a little bit slower deck.
Okay. Lots of it.
We've got mana rocks in the low drop spots that we use our basics for. If we don't have a ton of basics, we just like go nuts to the wind till turn 3 or 4.
Sure.
Yeah, that works because we've got a pretty strong late game with all the Planeswalkers.
Very true.
What do you think?
What do I think? What do you think I think?
I think that you think that it stinks. Like a
dirty butthole, yeah. We just talked about like a shit donut. A donut made of shit with a sprinkle on it. Just 1 sprinkle.
I was just going to say. Well, let's move to strengths and weaknesses.
Let's do that.
I think we covered sort of what the deck wants to do at length. I already talked about, I call it Planeswalker life gain. It's Planeswalkers soaking up attack damage, right?
Right.
Planeswalkers are also going to give you that reoccurring incremental value. And in a lot of cases, we're going to call that card advantage in the form of token blockers and actual card draw.
They just give you stuff for free. That's why Planeswalkers are so good. Like, once you've paid for them, you get a benefit from having them right away because you activate them the first time. And then each turn that you've activated them, they're just paying dividends for you.
I think that you're one of the only content creators that I listen to that thinks that Planeswalkers are that good.
What do you mean?
I don't think that, and lots of stuff that I hear and read and see in Commander says that Planeswalkers aren't that good.
I look at them in a bubble.
Okay.
I look at cards in a bubble, and in my head, I'm just playing my deck and nobody's screwing with me. And if you play it like that, Planeswalkers are incredible because they give you something for free every turn. Elspeth gives you 3 guys for free every turn, unless she gets killed. And that's pretty good.
That's powerful, but it doesn't have a whole bunch of context because they don't exist in bubbles, right? Elspeth hits the table. You spent 6 mana and a card in your hand to give you 3 1/1s. That's functionally terrible.
That's not very good. But next turn, if they don't kill her, you get 6 1/1s.
Yeah.
And then if they don't, then you get 9 1/1s. Now we're into actual gravy. Then you get 12. Holy shit.
That's good.
Now you've played Anointed Procession. Then you get 18.
And remember, the other thing too, and I'm only playing devil's advocate because while I agree 12 dudes for 6 mana is great, you have to think like if somebody, that Elspeth player, drops a Crater Hoof, their guys don't get +13/+13 because we're attacking them and those tokens are blocking, and that's the Planeswalker life gain I'm talking about. You can put your Planeswalker or your dudes that Planeswalker created in front of attackers. And the only thing that Elspeth has done has gained you some life. And she hasn't even really gained you that life. If you still Comet Storm for 40 or Ether Flux, you're still going to kill that player. So they didn't actually gain life. That Elspeth just soaked up attackers. So she didn't do anything.
She just blocked, I guess. She's like a shitty blocker.
I guess the take-home story is be careful how you evaluate your Planeswalkers, because, again, that Dovin Bond making some creature get -3/-0, that's actually not good.
No, it doesn't
do anything. And it's his minus ability that draws you a card. And if you minus and don't eliminate a potential threat to Dovin, he's just going to die. So I drew a card for 4 mana. That's bad.
Yeah.
Right? The where the Planeswalkers are good, and I think you and I personally have experience with them in like Super Friend decks or decks that pack 6 or 8 or like this one, 15. Right? Planeswalkers get really good when it's hard to assess the situation so you know which one is the one to kill.
And when there's one of them, it's like, well, whatever. But when there's 6 of them,
that's when it gets tricky. I think as Magic players, that's the differentiation we have to make. Because I can just kill an Elspeth. You play red, aggro, damage to Planeswalkers all over the place. So if there's one Planeswalker, you are just going to kill it.
Absolutely I am.
And I think you, and maybe a little bit me, our opinion of Planeswalkers is a little bit skewed because
the only deck in our play group that plays them is a Super Friends deck.
It plays like 21 of them.
Yeah.
And that makes it a little bit tough.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that they're broken. I'm not saying they're the most powerful cards out there. I just think that they are cards to be watched and cards to be appreciated. Because like you say, I spent 4 mana to draw 1 card. That sucks. But let's say you're going to get to activate them a couple of times. Nobody is going to go out of their way to kill a Dovin Bond.
Yeah.
Because he's not very good. So you're probably going to save yourself 6 damage. You're going to draw 2-3 cards, gain 4-6 life, you know? Like
virtual life, right?
And
not even real life.
And at some point, that 4 mana that you've invested is gonna pay off.
Yeah.
It's an incremental thing.
We didn't talk about it, but somebody doesn't want Dovin to ultimate because of XYZ reason, and they hit Dovin with their Terastodon instead of your face.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, maybe that's best case scenario type thinking.
And in your head, you're thinking, oh my God, am I ever glad that you're so afraid of Dovin, man.
Yeah. If that's Dovin's my only Planeswalker and I'm at 52, and you can hit me with a 3/3 to put me at 49, and I have an Ether Flux Reservoir in my hand, please hit Dovin. Please hit Dovin for Christ's sake. Swing at Dovin. Yes. Ether Flux. Kill you. Right?
Yeah.
That's where the Planeswalkers in this deck have their value. It's not a Super Friends deck. They just give you that value with their incremental life gain or virtual life gain, as we call it.
Yeah.
Next strength, political, controlling, on board. I can threaten you with words and make it so my Magic game goes better.
That's very Azorius. It's very on theme for the guild.
Yeah, I think that is
Last week
correct.
We had the hell with everybody, screw everything, let's just do the chaos thing with Rakdos, and we're doing the exact opposite of that to this week in Azorius, and that's how it is.
You know what? The arc, to me, already feels very Ravnikian for that reason.
Good word.
Yeah, I think that Rakdos felt very Rakdos last week. Rack week.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and this week is Azorius. It feels very Azorius, and that in total feels very Ravnikian.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a strength.
That is a strength.
Last strength, my favorite one. No combo, instant win.
Neat.
In your favorite card, Ether Flux Reservoir. Weakness, slow.
Yes.
Not a lot of action in the early game unless you just go Mana Rock, dude, Planeswalker, right? Like, and still, you're not really doing anything.
Yeah.
You're making a 1/1 with Elspeth.
Ooh.
You're giving your Deathrite Shaman -3/-0. Okay. Weakness. Needs some expensive Planeswalkers to really become that tuned Planeswalker control deck, right?
They could cost some big money, yeah.
Big Jace, Ugin, Karns, right?
Yeah.
The black or the white blue Teferi, whatever. It's like $60.
Yeah, and the Teferi's enchantment that lets you activate your Planeswalkers more often.
Oh, yeah. Balls that. We're not spending money. It's the new year, new us. people start to see through the strategy and it loses some of its effectiveness.
Yeah. When people know what this deck is doing, eventually it's going to run into what we call on the show the control problem, where...
Yeah, that's like the aggro problem, except the opposite.
Yeah, like when you're going to draw a whole bunch of cards, sure, but are your cards going to be enough to stop everybody from beating you to death?
That's like the Super Friends problem as well, right? Like we know you land that first Planeswalker, we're just going to have to like stomp this guy's dink into the ground for a little bit until he can't play like 2 Planeswalkers a turn. And then we're good.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's a thing. So you got to watch out. Like, yeah, you can stop the Omnath Alpha Strike, but then you got to stop the Omnath Voltron Strike.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to stop just whoever's playing Edgar Markov. You got to stop that too. And everybody's rebuilding and just pounding on you. And yeah, you're drawing cards, but eventually you're going to have a dead draw or you're not going to get what you need.
Yeah, I think that's what there's no one thing in the deck that if you draw it, you cast it and it's like, oh, draw 7 or 8. There's nothing in the deck that does that because I packed it full of Planeswalkers. And the Planeswalkers, like we said, have that other benefit.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that, like a Wheel of Fortune or like whatever wheel effect that you're going to draw 7. There's nothing like that in here. So definitely a control deck will fall victim to running out of cards if it has some dead draws.
I think that the summation of all of that is the deck is very good the first few times, but then you got to start tweaking it and playing with it to either make it stronger or make it do something different, because once people have seen through it, then your curses really aren't going to tempt people. Like,
yeah.
We haven't even played a game with this deck yet, and I'm already like, I'm not attacking you so you can draw a card because I gain 1 life. Are you insane?
And knowing that it's got a reservoir in it, you know to keep me below 50. And you know that if I'm 4+ mana open, after I went above 50, you know that I immediately need to go below 50. Like in response to my next spell.
Yes.
Right? So that's how I would try and beat it.
Should we talk about my least favorite part? The budget?
Your least favorite part is Jason Gideon.
That too, yeah. Well, that kind of does tie in.
No, a little bit it does, but I didn't play any of the super expensive Planeswalkers. No Jace the Mind Sculptor, no Karns, no Ugins, no Tefris, no nothing.
Correct.
So the deck, grand total with all those Planeswalkers, $222 only.
That's not too bad.
Not terrible.
And lots of the rest of it is binder stuff or your friend's binder stuff. You'll find it.
Yeah, so get this. I did have a Tefri's protection in here originally because it acts as a don't lose the game.
Yeah.
Or like a fog. If this worst case scenario, it's a fog after we draw cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So $32, so balls that. Cut it. You could take any random 2 Planeswalkers that like maybe 3, shave $30 off the deck. Play, those card draw spells that we just talked about, like wheel type effects where you draw 7.
Yeah.
Core Haven, it's like a Maze of Ith style land, $8. Balls that. Total cuts, $38 right there. New total, $185, $184. That's like a binder builder right there.
Yeah, and lots of that's land. And again, investing in land is a good investment if you plan on building decks and playing Magic in the long term.
Very much so. And to that effect, Hallowed Fountain, the Shockland, the white-blue Shockland, being reprinted in Ravnica Allegiance. So that's going to go down even more.
Yeah.
So in a month from now, this deck will be even cheaper.
I actually need some of those.
Oh, yeah?
I have a set of Shocklands, but I only have 1 Hallowed Fountain. I only have 1 Breeding Pool. It's weird. I don't know why I missed those 2. Azorius one I understand, because why would I have those? But the breeding pool, I was quite surprised by. I was looking for one the other day. I was like, where the fuck are my breeding pools? And
I actually need a breeding pool too.
I have 1.
Well, they're coming out. We'll talk about it in our Ravnica set review later on this month.
Yeah.
So I guess the moral of the story is we can build a deck for fairly cheap. The other thing is I have a evacuation in here. Could be a Cyclonic Rift, but it's like 20-some bucks too. And I thought, well, evacuation just gets everything for less mana.
And it's not going to really hurt you that bad because you're not playing a ton of creatures.
Yeah.
So why not?
So why not spend 50 cents instead of 25?
And 2 less mana.
Yes.
Evacuation may be a less strong card, but it comes online 2 turns faster, and sometimes you just need to bounce everything 2 turns sooner.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Okay. Milk list?
How about instead we do Card of the Week?
Sure. What do you got this week?
This week, we're going with Curse of Verbosity.
Oh, curse with your... This guy kind of looks like F.U. Ben.
He kind of does.
I have always thought that.
Huh.
Yeah, kind of the same hair, kind of the same beard, kind of the same stupid face.
Yeah, but it's true. It is true. Curse of Verbosity is an enchantment for blue 2. You enchant any player, including yourself, in the strategy of this particular deck. And whenever enchanted player is attacked, you draw a card, and each opponent attacking that player also draws a card.
Yeah, so enchant ourselves, attack me, I draw 2 cards. Or you have lots of stuff that I want to get rid of but can't, so I just want you dead. I curse you, everybody attacks you until your dink stomped it flat.
Yeah, because drawing cards is very, very powerful. One of the things about the Spy Master of Trest, one of the things that makes him so good is he encourages people to attack, not you. So, Curse of Verbosity, while you want people to attack you, sometimes you just need that swarm goblin player dead. You need that guy who can rebuild faster than you can tear him down. You just need him dead. So encourage people to kill him.
Yeah, and as soon as he is dink stomped, we just take our divine offering or whatever it's called, destroy target enchantment, and we gain 3 life. So it gives us an extra use for that card.
Yeah, and this card's 50 American cents or 96 Canadian dollars.
Very cheap.
Yep.
Despite the exchange rate.
Very affordable.
Yep, very much so. I think you can get them TCG Player for even cheaper, 25 cents. Commander 17 only, though, right? So no foils for you foil people.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But if you know somebody who alters cards, I don't know anybody like that. But if you do...
I do!
Get a hold of them, and maybe they could help you out.
As in, I know somebody who does it.
Yeah, Ryan does them. Check him out on Twitter, CCO Podcast.
Ooh, good plug. You sounded like an actual radio guy, how you said that real fast and monotone. Okay, milk list.
Let's do it. Everybody loves the milk list.
As per EDHREC.com, these are the most popular cards at each converted mana cost from 0 to whatever. Today, Azorius. Or as the kids say,
fuck.
I'll take it. At the 0-drop slot, number 1 card. Shows you how big of a D-bag that these people are. Mana Crypt.
No.
Nah, just kidding. I like Mana Crypt. We should all play it more often. I also hate money. Okay, at the 1-drop slot, we exclude Soul Ring because it's number 1 always and we're playing it. Second, Sword to Plowshares at the 1-drop.
We are playing that one.
Third, Path to Exile at the 1-drop.
And we're playing that one.
Jeez. Well, are we going to count that as 1?
Yeah, this counts as 1.
Okay, we'll count it at 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 milk list match. At the 2-drop slot, Azorius Signet.
Yep.
Render Silent at 3.
Nope.
No. Supreme Verdict at 4.
No.
Gilded Lotus at 5.
Nope.
Sun Titan at 6.
Nope.
Approach of the Second Sun at 7.
Wins the game. But no, we're not playing it.
That might be a
it
good
actually
one
might
here.
go good in this
I
deck,
think it goes in the stock list on EDHREC.com.
Sure.
I didn't play it. We don't need that to win. We use either Flux Reservoir. Dig Through Time at 8.
Nope.
I should put Dig Through Time at 2. That's where that should go.
Yeah.
9. Iona, Shield of Emeria.
Nope.
Omniscience.
Nope.
Temporal Trespass.
Nope.
I actually need that card. Do you have one?
I don't.
Oh. Enter the Infinite.
Nope.
Emrakul, The Promised End at 14.
Nope.
2 milk list matches.
Dang.
That's pretty good.
Way to go, man.
Yeah. So let's see what the Spice Calculator has to say about this deck, because so far, it's looking pretty spicy.
Yeah.
EDHREC.com, 236 lists for Isperia only.
That sounds like actually a higher number given how far down the list she is.
Yeah, you know what? I think that there would be far more because it says draw a card on your commander. If she was like a 3/3 flyer for 4, 5 even, she costs 6.
And she's 15th on Azorius Commanders. She's way down there.
That's low, yeah.
Because we did, what was our last week? She was 12th, and she only had 100 lists in Rakdos. It really tells you the variety of things that commanders of a color tend to do.
Yeah, everybody likes Azorius because they think that they're smarter than we are, right?
No, I play blue and I'm better than you. And I play white because I want good removal. Flipping people.
Okay, average CMC, 3.08. That's actually pretty low.
Yeah.
Despite having 15 Planeswalkers.
Dang.
Yeah, okay. Critical turn. If you can go Ivory Tower, Mana Rock, kill a thing, gain life, Ether Flux Reservoir on 4, you could kill somebody.
Yeah.
Because that ivory tower is going to gain you. You're going to gain life from one other spell. Aetherflux Reservoir, kill somebody. That kills one person and it puts you at like 1.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it probably kills you too.
If you were playing this deck and you were playing against Jesse and it was the last game of the night.
Goddamn right I would.
Okay.
You goddamn right I would.
Critical turn of 4.
Sure.
Otherwise, I'd put it at 5. For the same reason, though, because we can just gain life. And if on 3, 4, and 5 we get a Planeswalker, nobody's going to be able to kill them with their attackers on turns 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky if they try, yeah.
But probably not, I should say.
You're going to have to do a lot of work to do that.
Optimal game size. The game does get better for us being the control deck with the mass life gain cards in the big games. I'm thinking of Blighted Step and Congregation and stuff.
The more creatures you can get out of graveyards, the more creatures that are going to be in play, the more life you're going to gain. But the more times you have to gain life to Aetherflux Reservoir people out.
Ooh, yeah. I didn't think of that.
But there's where the political stuff comes into play. Eventually people are going to get sick of you drawing cards and fogging them, so they're just going to start swinging at each other.
Yeah, which is also not bad for us.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt.
Okay, well, I put 5. 0 tutors in the deck. Uniqueness rating, that is cards different than the stock list on edhrec.com. 42.
That's lots.
Yeah, that's lots. Punch it all into the spice calculator. 61.
Yeah.
Yeah, 61 spices. I think that's 2 weeks in a row. The first 2 decks of 2019, both over 60.
Hell yeah, baby.
This is the year of the 60.
We'll keep that going at least with this arc, I hope.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? I know I already asked you what you think, but as the whole arc, as our Ravnica Allegiance set review approaches, and we're doing our last 2 arcs that are going to be released this month, how do you feel?
Well, about all of that stuff, I feel great because I am a positive person, Ryan. About this deck, I don't like it. And I don't not like it because it's a bad deck. This is actually a pretty cool deck. It's lots of fun. I think that sitting down with this, shuffling it up, actually playing it would be really cool. But I hate it because it's everything that I hate about Control Magic. It's the reason why I don't own Hallowed Fountains, because Azorius is terrible. I hate that crap. I hate this don't attack me or blah, 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 blah. It's basically stacks without playing stacks. Just play a Winter Orb, you douche.
It's Nax. No stacks.
Just do it. Just, you know you want to.
But I don't need to.
But you want to. And that's the problem. You think you're better because you're not doing it, but you're doing it.
I'm Azorius. I am the Azorius. I play Elspeth instead of Winter Orb because I'm better than Winter Orb, because Elspeth makes it so I just don't get attacked, just like Winter Orb.
Right?
I didn't even think of that.
Jesus.
That is the greatest.
So that's what I think of this deck.
Okay, good. Well, I guess
if you're into what it does, you're going to dig it. So just check it out.
I dig it because it's different than Azorius, but it still does the same thing. I'm cursing my damn self.
Yeah, that's a thing.
And I'm doing it with a shitty commander.
I'm cursing you too, but with my words and not with cards.
Yes, and maybe with your fists
in
my head. Very CCO, the whole lot of it. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. Other than that, remember to check us out on Podomatic/Commander Cookout.
You know what? If you go to Podomatic and just go to their top 10,
you'll see us.
You'll find us.
Yeah, and remember to interact with us on there. You'll get entered into our draw for the cat deck for this month. Same thing goes. If you're liking all of our new stuff on our fledgling YouTube page, we really do appreciate the support. You're really helping us out a whole lot, and you'll be entered in there as well. In any case, thanks for doing that. If you build this deck, a big F you for being that guy, but we're going to be back next week with another episode in the arc of OG Ravnica on Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!